Good morning, everyone, and a very warm welcome to AABN's 257th weekly webinar. It's truly an honor to stand before you today as a representative of AABN, and I'm delighted to see our vibrant community gather once again on the Sunday morning. Over the years, these weekly sessions have become more than just webinars. They have grown into a platform where entrepreneurs from across the globe come together to learn, share, and be inspired. AABN has always strived to keep our community engaged, not only by refreshing our perspectives on emerging trends, but also by connecting us with thought leaders who spark few ideas and possibilities. As you all know, AABN is an umbrella friend for entrepreneurs worldwide, and our mission has been to create opportunities for knowledge exchange and collaboration. Each week, we explore topics that challenge conventional thinking and open doors to innovation. Today's session is no exception. The theme for this week's webinar is both timely and transformative. Wastewater is the new oil, reuse, recovery, and revenue in urban India. In a world where sustainability is no longer optional but essential, this topic highlights how wastewater, often seen as a challenge, can actually be harnessed as a resource. The idea of turning waste into wealth, of creating revenue streams while addressing urban scarcity is a powerful reminder of how innovation can reshape industries and societies. For entrepreneurs, this subject is particularly significant as it points to new opportunities in circular economy models, green technologies, and sustainable business practices. It's my privilege to introduce our eminent speaker for today, Dr. Giridhar Prabhukumar, Senior Principal Consultant and Subject Matter Expert in Water and Wastewater Treatment. Dr. Giridhar brings with him a wealth of experience and fresh perspectives on how urban India can transform wastewater management into a driver of economic growth and environmental resilience. His insights promise to be both practical and visionary, offering us a roadmap to rethink how we approach one of the most pressing challenges of our time. Before we begin, I would also like to extend my heartfelt thanks to my classmate, Dr. T. Raju from CCRI, for making this valuable connection possible. So let us all join in extending a very warm welcome to Dr. Giridhar Prabhukumar and prepare ourselves for an engaging and thought-provoking session. Thank you, and over to you, Dr. Giridhar.
Thank you. Thanks a lot for that introduction. Appreciate it. I'm very glad to be here. Thanks a lot again for spending your Sunday morning with me. I am a subject matter expert, but I am not going to talk about too much into technical. My focus is to try and shift your perspective about wastewater. I'm going to take this opportunity to show you how wastewater is not really a waste. It can actually generate revenue, and there's been a huge shift in the way government operates and has been dealing with wastewater projects in the recent decade. So I'm going to touch upon all that, and specifically this presentation, this talk is going to be focusing on investors and entrepreneurs and business owners from different sectors. You don't have to be associated with anywhere near water, but at the end of this talk, I'm sure at least a percentage of the viewers might get into the FOMO of not being in the sector. I'm sure at least some will jump into this wagon. So let me start with a simple shift in thinking. Now, most of us think about water as utility, right? Like electricity for a business. It is not. It is more of it's become a business risk. If there's a water scarcity, whether it is a supply of water or handling of wastewater or the quality of water being received by the business, it converts into translates into a business continuity risk, growth risk, cost risk for the entity, for the organization. I'm going to touch upon all these 10 topics or 9 topics, how water risk is translates to business risk, how wastewater can be looked at as a asset class, not as a waste. Um, in this sector, this is one unique sector where demand is driven by policy. Um, and I'm going to talk about that with some case studies. We'll look at the various revenue streams where you can make money in this sector. Business models and bankability for the investors, different models being deployed across India and how that works. Few more case studies, specific case studies in Tamil Nadu and one or two across India. A new topic. Well, carbon credits is not a new topic, but carbon credits in water sector is a new topic. It's not at all been explored, not at all in any of the project scope yet in India, but it is being done elsewhere. So this is something I'll be touching upon a bit later in the session. And of course, any project, any venture, anything has risk, and I'll help list out the risk and how that can be mitigated or addressed in the projects, in the water sector, water infra projects, and where things are going to be, and in the near future, how do business owners and investors position themselves in this sector. Then we'll take questions and answers at the end. So as I mentioned, water back in the days, maybe 10, 15, 20 years ago, doing anything for water was more of a do-good thing for the public, and handling wastewater discharge issues was more of a environmental concern and addressing those. But of late, with the policies in place and new policies coming up, it's become more of a business continuity and business growth risk, cost risk. So here's a reality check in Chennai specifically. We all know 2019 was close to reaching day zero for Chennai. We almost had no water. The tanker cost surged by 5 times. Chennaites would remember that. Now, if you might also remember what happened 4 years prior to that, 2015 December. I remember clearly. I had just landed back from the US. I moved back on a permanent assignment here in India in October end of 2015, and 2 months within the next 2 months we had Chennai floods. We all know who've been in Chennai, what happened during that period. Most of our homes, assets were below the water. And so the thing is, there is also floods happening and droughts. So this is a real problem. This is really happening across India, not just in Chennai, not just places where there is flooding. There is other issues happening. So all this is going to affect your business operations, right? Your cost escalations happen, shutdowns, if not permanently, temporary shutdowns can be triggered. On top of that, we'll talk about the policies that are mandating certain things which will affect your business growth, cost, and disrupt things the way you operate. So it's not business as usual anymore. Water is a critical aspect in businesses that depend on it as a either for production or any other use. So the opportunity here lies in treating wastewater as a resource. It is not a waste. building an industrial reuse market, creating revenue from the treated effluent, and all this to reduce freshwater imports or buying freshwater from third parties. So I'm going to talk about each of these and how these can be accomplished in the next few slides. So contradicting cities. So Chennai, for example, as I mentioned, 2015 floods and then 2019 droughts. And in fact, some of the cities go through this cycle on an annual basis. You have floods during the monsoon and droughts during the summer. So what is the gap here? It is not water scarcity. I don't believe in water scarcity. It is water management issue. It is not water issue. Supply is there. There's plenty of supply. But there is no and there is plenty of demand. It is meeting that gap is the issue, and that's where the opportunity lies. So India does not have a water shortage problem. I'm talking about across India, even places where there's no river and any surface water body to provide water. You can solve the water problem, water supply issue. It all boils down to water management and how you do that. So every citizen in India can get 24/7 water if water management is done right. So wastewater, it is an asset class. We are making that shift. We have been making that shift in the water sector in the past decade. It is, as you can see, wastewater has three different components: water itself, the usable water, and then you have the organics that can be converted to biogas. Biomass can be used to generate biogas, and from biogas to energy generation. So that there is that potential, and then the fertilizers industry can be supported with the solid waste coming out of the STPs, waste treatment plants, and so. If the 100 liters of water comes to your house, you use 100 liters, 150 liters per day per capita. Now, out of that, 80% goes down the drain. Okay, at least 80%, if not more. So that is the amount of wastewater being generated on a daily basis from each user, whether it is industrial or residential users. 80% goes down the drain on an average, at least. So that is we know how much is being generated. Now we know what are the components. It is about making that. It is about realizing all these that can be seen as an opportunity to tap in. Excuse me. So there are this is the value chain, and every step of this value chain can generate revenue. Is a business opportunity from source, treatment to reuse and recovery can generate revenue. We don't have to build a whole brand new STP or industrial effluent treatment plant to realize the revenue. You can jump in and be part of any of these steps and generate revenue for yourself or your business. Let's look into the market reality now. Urban wastewater, there is about across India, there's about 52 or 72 million liters of sewage is generated per day. MLD is million liters per day. 72 million liters per day is being generated in just the urban sector. Now, out of that, 72% is discharged untreated. Can you imagine that? We talk about treatment, we talk about establishing these environmental policies and whatnot. But still, two-thirds of the wastewater is being discharged untreated. And where does it go? It goes to the surface water bodies or ocean. Now, again, that is not my focus here. Um, my point here is there is so much more potential. We have 72% of wastewater that can be captured, and the revenue can be tapped out of that. Also, 28 MLD or 28% of I'm sorry, maybe the number is wrong. Yeah, 28. 28% is treated through sewage treatment plants. Now, having said that, yeah, even that 28 MLD is not treated as the way we would want to, the way discharge norms are set. And I did a study across 4 states in the northern part of India, Uttarakhand, UP, Bihar, and West Bengal, where the Ganga River flows. I looked at 56 sewage treatment plants that were discharging into River Ganga. Actually, 88, 89 STPs were identified that were built and being discharged. Out of 88, 89, 56 were defunct. They were not meeting the discharge norms. So that's a situation here. That's the reality here in India. That's not just in those 4 states, but across India. That's the issue. The existing facilities do not meet the standards. They are not, even if they meet the standards, they are not working efficiently. And on the industry side, there is rapid industrial growth, and there's mandates to install zero liquid discharge systems and to meet their demands. And there is also mandates in certain cities and policies which mandate the industries to reuse water, and that is becoming more common and mandatory across the country, which is again driving the demand. So for investors and business owners, demand visibility is critical. So here in this asset, there is demand and there is supply. So that is evident, and the scale of it is large. So again, wastewater is not a liability; it is just a mispriced asset. So, and like I mentioned earlier, the water sector demand and is driven by policy. This is one of the very few, or if not only, sector where policy drives demand. I'll tell you how that happens. Discharge norms are being set, and they're becoming more and more stringent going forward. For example, the secondary effluent. So in a sewage treatment plant, there are at least 3 components in the treatment process. One is your primary treatment, and the heart of the system is secondary treatment, followed by tertiary treatment, depending on the discharge water quality that you are trying to achieve. Most commonly, the treatment plants end with secondary treatment. Now, with the discharge norms becoming more and more stringent, the advanced treatment technologies are getting their market in the STPs in India. MBRs are able to come in, are becoming more popular for water reuse kind of applications. Zero liquid discharge, as I mentioned, in the industrial sector. And with the water use restrictions, there's restrictions on groundwater use, borewell water use, or surface water use for industrial requirements. These are all becoming the drivers for the reuse demand. Wastewater is not people don't go for wastewater solutions. They are being driven by policies to uh, establish wastewater treatment facilities and such services. So government is, in this case, is the revenue enabler, is the demand generator. Couple of examples. One of BWSSB, how it has created demand and visibility for the investors and business owners. They have mandated treated wastewater reuse for construction. So if there's a gated community coming up somewhere in Bangalore, um, the contractor is supposed to procure water from secondary treatment facility, a sewage treatment plant. If they need more, if a industry needs a uh, higher purity water, they can go for a TTP plant, tertiary treatment plant water, and those are the rates fixed by BWSSB. So there is a offtake guarantee. The price is fixed, and all that clarity is great for investors. It's great for business owners who are in that business. Um, and Industries are also, not just construction industry, but other industries are also required to use treated water, STP treated water. Now, if these are to be piped to your facility, to your industry in Bangalore region, there is an extra charge of 5 rupees per KL. So that's, if you want a TTP water, treated water, then it's 20 rupees per KL. Similarly, on KSPCB, that's Karnataka State Pollution Control Board, they have mandated that in Bangalore, where in Karnataka, where there is existing UGT, underground drainage systems, if the say residential complex has more than 120 units, they need to have on-site sewage treatment plants. It's a mandate. Whether it's 120 units or if they generate more than 80 kiloliters per day. It's more stricter in areas where there is no UGD, no underground drainage system. Then the limit drops down to 20 units or 2,000 square meter of development or built area. They have also mandated dual plumbing. So you will have, in these apartments, you would have one set of plumbing for supply to your kitchens, shower, and such, and a separate plumbing goes to your toilet flushes and gardening reuse. So that has also been mandated. Now, these are just examples of how policy can are creating demand, and it's only going to get more stricter and help people in this business. NMCG, National Mission for Clean Ganga. This is at the national level, at the center. The focus has been on waste treatment plants and reuse mandates. There is at least 30,000 crore of investment sitting there and being dispersed in the last 10 years under the National Mission for Clean Ganga, Namami Gange platform. It is they act as a funding agency or have the oversight on water infra projects. The HAM model, I have a snippet there at the bottom. It's a I was interestingly this was I was part of this when it happened. I was working on a an MCG project in developing DPRs, detailed project reports for those four states up north. And at that time, Nitin Gadkari was the Water Resources Minister and was overseeing NFCG projects. He was also the Transport Minister at that time. So typically, HAM model was successfully done in the transport side, on the highways and roads sector, not in the water sector at that time. When he took over this additional responsibility, brought this concept to the water sector, and for the past 10, 12 years now, 10 years now, um, it's been implemented by NMCG in all projects. Additionally, there is also this one city, one operator model, wherein they look at an entire city. So I mentioned 56 DPRs were prepared to rehabilitate the existing facilities, existing STPs. And instead of issuing 56 different tenders, NMCG decided to club it based on the cities. We clubbed it into 11 different packages at the time, and this is back in 2018, 2019 period. And each package was for each city. So if a city had 3 sewage treatment plants, that all will be in one package and tendered out to one contractor who wins the bid. That way, it was easy to manage the projects for both the funding agency, the NMCG, as well as the urban local body, which would be UP Jal Nigam and so on. So that's something new that's coming up, not just from NMCG, but across all states. And there is also performance-based KPIs being attached to the O&M contracts. They mandate the discharge water quality that is to be produced to meet the local PCB norms, the state PCB norms. And there is also energy guarantees and operational times and mandates on intermittent processes. There's a lot of things happening that keeps the O&M contractor on the hook and ensures better, more efficient operations and um, efficiency, performance efficiency of the plant. Similarly, UPJN, UP Jal Nigam, Uttar Pradesh Jal Nigam, they've been doing large-scale projects in Lucknow, Kanpur, and other major towns within UP. These are all like multi-million-dollar projects under the one city, one operator umbrella. These are long-term. It's not just EPC. They do EPC is clubbed with O&M contracts for 15 years. So across India, the policies is doing 3 different things: creating demand, enforcing compliance, and providing enabled revenue models that enable and guarantee the revenue for the investors and the operators. Okay, so now we understood where the demand is coming from. Let's see where we can make money. There are 6 segments where there is potential for revenue. First one is the municipal sector, which is primarily the sewage treatment plants and reuse TTP, treasury treatment plants, O&M kind of revenues that can be gone for. And then you have industrial sector. We also have, as I mentioned before, ZLDs and industrial effluent treatment is kind of unique, different from municipal. Industrial treatment plants or industrial effluent treatment plants are, it's not cut, copy, paste. It depends on the technology selection and the inlet raw water quality. All that depends on the type of industry. If you have a tannery industrial industry, it's going to generate a kind of a different. It is going to have different pollutants and the pollutant loading in its effluent versus food processing unit effluent. So the process selection, technology selection becomes critical there. Typically the industrial effluent treatment plants are higher cost, higher capex, and O&M cost can be higher. decentralized systems, like as I mentioned, the gated communities have been mandated to establish their STPs if they don't have UTVs or if they have too many greater than 120 doors within the campus. IT parks, hospitals. There's also villages, remote areas which do not have connectivity to a centralized treatment facilities can get containerized systems, decentralized units. That is another revenue stream and another opportunity to in the water sector. And then you have resource recovery, which can be which makes more sense in the larger facilities or centralized facilities than decentralized or industrial effluent systems. But there are industries, petrochemical industry, for example. I worked with BP, and they were able to generate enough power from their petrochemical effluent treatment plant through biogas generation that they could utilize that power to operate uh, the petrochemical manufacturing unit and feed the grid in China. So it is best suited for larger systems, resource recovery, larger capacity system. And then we have digital water. So you have IoTs, AI-based data analytics, monitoring of collection, monitoring, and analytics of data, plant data. And this new segment that is expected to come in India is going to be carbon credits in water sector, primarily looking at emission reduction. Now, if you speak about in terms of IRRs, typical municipal projects are going to give you anywhere from 12 to 16% IRR. Industrial projects, industrial systems would get you a little more, up to 25% IRR. Decentralized systems are fast and quick with an ROI or IRR in the range of 25 to 30%. And carbon credits is an IRR increaser. It will add on to your existing project IRR by maybe 1 to 3% on top without increasing any risk in the project. So municipal revenue streams, as I mentioned, STP under the HAM model or build, operate, own and transfer boot system. These are all typically going on in 15-year contract period. Treated water sale, there is the BWSSB model, which we discussed, O&M annuity, KPI-linked recurring operations income. So there is, by linking KPI to the operation and maintenance contracts, it ensures performance guarantee for the asset owner, the ULBs or industrial customer. But it also encourages directly, indirectly the improvement of the efficiency of these operations. On the decentralized systems, ZLD and facilities within smaller facilities, these are, as I mentioned, fast-growing asset-light models. You also have an opportunity for providing water as a service. I'll touch upon that in a later slide. That is more applicable for decentralized or industrial segments. Resource recovery, what are the resources you got there in wastewater treatment plant? You have sludge generation. We can produce biogas from the sludge. Biogas can be converted to power. Biogas can be purified to produce bio-CNG as fuel. The solids, dewatered solids, the sludge can be used as nutrients, and that can be raw materials for fertilizer industry. And you also have treated water for industrial reuse. It can be procured at a cost or sold as at a cost. Digital water, as I mentioned, IoT monitoring. So when there is operations, you also need to monitor its performance, and there is so much data being generated, which is currently not being recorded. You go to any treatment facility across India, you might not find all the data readily available. You might not find even a year's worth of plant data to even if you need to troubleshoot an issue there. Maybe things are changing in the newer projects that's being built, but if you go to any plant, you would not find more than a few months data, or when I say historic data, from the time it is built till date, you need to correct and maintain the data and do the analytics. That is completely missing. Record keeping is a laggard in this sector. So IoT-based monitoring. There's also online monitoring systems that are being sensors and stuff are being installed to enable such monitoring. Leakage detection on the water supply side. There is that is going to help in reducing the non-revenue water losses. And with the AI, with the help of AI optimization, we can achieve these efficiencies to a different level, whether it is consumables use or energy savings and maintenance, predictive maintenance, conducting predictive maintenance. AI has been looked at in the sector. Probably not yet in India, but this is something that's going to happen very soon. Carbon credits, it can add on to another layer on top of your current projects. That can add on to about 3% of IRR per project. Just turning emissions into revenue here. Here are the opportunities. You have methane generation, right, from these wastewater treatment facilities. Now, methane is up to 80% more potent than carbon dioxide. So if you can capture that, you can simply put, get the credits. Each reduction can equate to carbon credit and can be traded as a financial asset. So here's an opportunity that is being looked at in other countries, and something that we can start here in India as well. I'll talk about carbon credits in a bit in a later slide in more detail with examples. Now let's look at the business models. Hybrid annuity model, the NMCG model, PPP boot, water as a service, EPC plus O&M contract. We've talked about all three. EPC plus O&M. Unless the project is in this model, the contractors are not taking this up. Purely earlier, about a decade or so ago, there were more of EPC projects wherein the contractor would come and invest money or take the money from the ULB, build a facility, hand over, and leave. And once the performance guarantee period is over, the O&M would be issued to a completely different contractor. So now the EPC contracts are built in with O&M contract, long-term O&M contracts, and these have been proven to be a lot more successful than purely EPC projects. So we know there is demand which is being generated by the by the policies that are being put in place and becoming more and more stringent. The projects, the government projects are backed by the annuity payment structure, and regulatory push is there on the industrial side. KPI contracts are being written with O&M contracts are being written with KPI based, performance based KPI um, uh, in it. And lastly, the right manpower. We lack manpower in this segment. Now, imagine 100 crore facility, an SCP being built with all the capex and at the and being built with with advanced technologies and MNCs or international companies investing or building these facilities. And at the end of the day, it is being handed over to a team of operators and maintenance crew who do not have the right skill set or the knowledge or the credentials to operate such plants. What happens to these plants? They don't perform. So it's that's heavily lacking here. This is very critical. It's not the demand. It's not anything else. At the end of the day, it boils down to the execution of or operating who operates these plants, who the individuals that operate these plants. I've seen at a pumping station of a sewage treatment facility where a bank teller was operating a pumping station. There is no relevance to the credentials who operate such facilities. In US and other countries, you do need to have a license to operate a water treatment plant. If you don't have the license, you can't even apply for the job. So that kind of certification or credentials are not put in Indian projects. However, that is becoming more and more. People are the ULBs are getting aware of these requirements, and they're putting the requirements in the TORs of the contracts. They're spelling it out how many years of experience, what kind of credentials are these staff need to have. Once the project is issued, they do have they do people do leave the jobs, right? That is another issue. When the new crew comes in, there's no checks and balances on if they got the right replacement or not. So the last one is also critical. Once you have that, all these the typical payback period is between 4 to 7 years. Again, faster on decentralized system and industrial sector than public sector. With the carbon credits, you can get up to an additional 3% of IRR. And these are the industrial, sorry, on the industrial sector, contracts are anywhere from 10 plus years, and public sector is about 15 years or more. A couple of case studies here in Tamil Nadu. Chennai, we have a 10 MLD plant in Egmore that where CMW SSB, Chennai Metro Water Metropolitan Water Supply and Sewage Board has signed a contract with supply contract with Indian Railways to provide a portion of the tertiary treated effluent from this plant. There is also bio-CNG project that is expected to come up in the near future. You might have seen it in the newspapers. There is a lot of sludge being generated across all STPs in Chennai. There are about 20 STPs, and there's potential for bio-CNG production for fuel. This can in the future provide revenue for the city, for the CMW SSB. And they are drafting tenders and projects that are revenue backed. uh, from reuse or biogas generation. At Tirupur, it's an industrial hub. The textile industry, textile cluster is well known. A lot of textile export happens from Tirupur. And ZLD has been mandated at all the facilities there. There's CETP, Common Effluent Treatment Plant, operating there as well, to serve smaller entities, smaller organizations who cannot afford a standalone ZLD within their campus. So this is again compliance driven and guaranteed demand, which is only going to grow as more and more industries come up in the city. And we've seen the Bangalore model, BWSSB, where the mandate is on large scale reuse of the treated effluent from the STPs. Carbon credits, a little more in detail on what they are and where, why in water sector, what is the opportunity here. Simply put, it is one carbon credit is equal to 1 ton of CO2 equivalent reduction. So as I mentioned, methane can be generated or is generated from sewage, and that is a high potency greenhouse gas, up to 80 times the potency of CO2. So every ton of methane can give you up to 80 credits, if I'm not wrong. So that's the potential here in the water sector. And then if you add on to renewable sources, renewable energy sources to operate these plants, you can increase your opportunity to get these carbon credits. So, so there's, as I mentioned, biogas capture, energy efficiency, efficient STPs, solar powered plants, IRR improvement through up to 3%. Now, I don't know if anyone has visited any of the sewage treatment plants, publicly owned sewage treatment plants. They are large. They have acres and acres of land. At least they used to. Now with the cities and new STPs coming up, the plant footprint is much smaller. But the older facilities have several acres of land that can be converted to solar power plants, and which can the unused area can be converted to solar power plants and can power up the operations of these treatment facilities. There's an opportunity there. And just making the entire operations more efficient will drop down your power consumption and energy usage. So let's look at UK, what UK is doing. The asset management period 8 has started from 2025 and will go on until 2030. It's a 5-year cycle, and we are on the 8th there in UK. There is about up to 100 plus billion euros investment plan spread across the 5 years. Now, carbon credits, carbon net zero, all this has become a metric. Has become a mandate in all the new projects coming up. There is huge investments and focus on nature-based solutions, which can reduce your carbon footprint. And this is all driving your carbon reduction objectives. It is not yet mandating that all projects must have these, but making carbon as a measurable, accountable, and incentivized objective in the projects that's been drafted, and that is expected to come out in the next 5 years. So we looked at the opportunities, we looked at the demand, we looked at everything. Now coming down to the last couple sections. The next one is the risk and understanding of how the project fails, how that can be mitigated. So typically, when you deal with public sector projects, there can be payment delays, and that can be addressed through use of escrow account and with the ham structure. And this is a PPP model with hybrid annuity mode of engagement of the parties. O&M is an issue, has been an issue in the sector with the not the right without having the right staffing or the knowledge to operate these facilities. Now, with this has been of late addressed by putting in KPI based performance KPI based contracts for O&M. As a consultant, I've seen one too many times where systems get over-engineered. Now, you'll have to look at, there's only two things that we consulting engineers or the design engineers would primarily look at to begin with when we are doing the technology selection. One is your quality of water that the facility is expected to receive, and the different quality that is to be achieved, whether it is for reuse or simply discharge into the surface water body. So based on that, these two requirements at the inlet end and discharge end, you would design the entire facility. And of course, keeping in mind other constraints such as space. If you want a compact facility because space is a constraint, then you would pick a more advanced technology such as MBR or MBBR systems, membrane-based systems or media-based systems. So that is one thing. And lastly, the EPC-only mindset. So unless O&M is tagged along with the EPC scope, most projects have failed. In the past, they have always failed. And in the future, almost all ULBs are doing this EPC with O&M contracts. Where are we heading? The mandatory reuse across all states, coming up in all states, and industrial water market compliance. The newer in the recent few years, IoT-based systems have entered this sector, and going forward, we'll see AI-based data management, data analytics coming up, predictive maintenance. All that will be happening in the near future. And as I mentioned, carbon finance layer is a new thing that is yet to be explored in the water sector. So in my 25 years of experience in this sector, in the water sector, both water supply, water treatment, wastewater, and solid waste management, I've realized that demand is not an issue here. Water demand is not an issue. Water supply is also not an issue, not as much as of an issue. It is that gap. It is the inefficiency at a large scale in the sector that is prevalent, and all the projects going forward, all the business opportunities are linked to this gap, linked to making systems more efficient, and lastly, but not the least, the O&M. It's not the technologies that is built into the system. It is execution that matters. It's at the end of the day, the right team, right companies operating the system and ensuring performance and water quality and supply matters. So that's all I had. And just a last takeaway. Wastewater is a multi-revenue asset class. Those who treat wastewater as a waste will miss the opportunity. Those who treat it as a resource will build the next generation of infrastructure business. Thank you.
Thank you, Dr. Giridhar. Excellent session, a lot of takeaways from it. We'll keep the floor open for question and answers now.
Yeah.
Sure.
May I ask you a question? Can I
Yes,
start?
please. Yes,
Yep.
yes, please go on.
Subramanian, I'm Annamalai alumni 1987. You see, with regard to what you said, that it is sunrise sector and all that, I want your views on a couple of things. Are these projects bankable?
Yes, sir.
Sense in the ham sense, because the country is shifting from ham to hybrid ham.
Yes.
So that's my first question. Now, the second question would be, there's something called the Urban Challenge Fund coming up. It was launched in April 25th. And there's an outlay of around 4 lakh crores for urban infrastructure projects for all municipalities. Now, the kicker here, the twist in the tail is, less than 10% of municipalities in India make revenue more than they're all in deficit. They run on capital grants and revenue grants from the government. In that scenario, how can a large scale, how bankable would this be from a banker's point of view? Because ultimately for the ham, 60% has to come from a lending institution.
Yes. Great question. I'll take that as an example. I'll explain this as an example in our everyday life. Say we have a 2005 Alto car. You can, without fixing the issues, without fixing any mechanical issues, if you add on the accessories to it, it's not going to make things great. It's not going to give you a great drive between, say, Chennai to Bangalore. So the same thing is happening is the ground reality within the water sector. You have all these assets that have been operating for the last few years or couple of decades or so, and back in the days, the focus was on capex. You assign capex, you build, and forget it. There was not much focus given to O&M, operation maintenance, and or funding even allocated for operation maintenance. And if you see even 4-5-year-old facilities, they are not able to meet discharge norms, or they're not able to receive the flow that it was originally designed for and treat those. So long story short, unless these existing facilities are fixed, rehabilitated, and brought back to their original design, the money can't be realized, the revenue can't be realized. With a new greenfield system, that is different. It is different, and the revenue drain happens here. See, there's two ways to increase revenue for these water boards. One is to create new streams of revenue. Most of it was talked about in this session. And the other way to increase revenue is by decreasing losses, right? Decreasing the inefficiencies built into the system over the years. So expenditure reduction. When we do that, these ULBs can become profitable. I totally believe that the cost, the expenditure can be reduced by 30, 40, even 50% in larger ULBs, both on storage side and water supply side. And they can become revenue positive.
You should take your case to the ministry.
Sure, sir. Yeah.
And because right now the frame of mind is fantastic to change these things. So,
yes.
I'll call it a long shot. What you say that they can become revenue positive, but
yeah.
Be it as it may, going by what you say, you should take a shot at it.
Yes, sir. So
Make
I'll
a
give you
case.
one quick example. At in international projects for water supply, for example, you design the network, right? You design the network pipeline from a water treatment plant to your door using a software called Water Gem or Sewer Gem for sewer site. To collect for the collection system, you use software. Now, that is how you begin a project. Now, when it comes to India, it is hardly used, or and especially in the existing systems, you don't have a hydraulic model to do any modification. You, or for that matter, or your daily operation is based on some operator going out in the field and making uh, uh, three turns of the valve there to supply to a couple of streets at the end of the line. So there, it's all guesswork. It's all trial and error that's happening.
True,
Uh,
true.
if you simply establish a hydraulic model, then you can completely change that the way it is operated. Your model should tell which valve should be opened at how many turns and ensure 24/7 or at least 4 hour supply per day in across the city. So that is not there. So this is there's inefficiencies across every operations, whether it is supply or treatment or even revenue collection, whatnot. So
Just to
there's easily
add,
40 to 50% reduction in cost that can be done.
thank you. Just to
Hello,
add
sir.
to your knowledge, I'll just close off with this comment. See, ham shifted to hybrid ham because bankers did not want to take the construction risk. So that's
Yeah.
why now even in highway projects, there's something called hybrid ham, which many states are adopting. So I just wanted to know if that also is there in this sector.
Yes, yes. I think that's where things are moving. I haven't looked at recent contracts, but at least back in right around COVID time, this was being considered up north.
Thank you.
Hello, sir. This is Dr. Murugesan. It was very
Person.
fantastic, your presentation, but my request is today the food production, especially the toxin-free food production, is one of the challenge today for India. India, not only India, it's all over the world. But how this reuse of the treated water can be used for the urban agriculture, as well as cultivation of medicinal plants in the urban area. Another thing I would like to know, have you done any budgeting of water in a city like Chennai, wherein the source and even the contaminated water and how it is being used for industrial purpose, domestic purpose, and other purposes? If you have any model, I would like to visit, and also I'm interested to that to even to execute it, because today most of the people have been talking about it, but I'm a person want to do it in a practical way. Can you brief
Yes,
on
sir.
that, the reuse of wastewater, how it can help the urban agriculture model, and also to support the toxin-free food security, please? Thank you so much.
Certainly. So urban agriculture, that's a great thing. Let's take a terrace garden, hydroponic system, or compact footprint agricultural system that is becoming more popular these days, or even smaller sites within the city area. There is wastewater being generated right within the city. It's high density, high population, and high demand. So there is going to be, like I mentioned, 80% of the water being supplied is going to be generated as wastewater. Now, the once treated, the treated effluent, instead of um, so you can only use so much in toilet flushes. Rest is excess. So if you have, say, a gated community of 200 apartments in a campus, you can't reuse 80% of that water treated. Even if you treat it, you can't reuse all of it within the same campus, right? So there is water surplus. In fact, BWSSB, Bangalore Water Supply and Sewerage Board, has realized that and has told the industries can also source their water from nearby communities, nearby residential complexes, and buy from them at a lower cost than what they would sell it from their own sewage treatment plants. So the rate there is, I think, 8 rupees per kiloliters versus 10 rupees at the STP of BWSSB. So the excess water from these residential areas, residential communities can be used for irrigation within the cities, wherever there is requirement. And otherwise, you can take the sewage treatment plants that are across other towns outskirts and use that for irrigation. One advantage there is if right now the nutrient limits are not mandated in rural areas. So you could have higher nutrients in the water coming in, and which is actually beneficial for agriculture. Not so much if it is discharged into the lake and rivers, it might cause algal bloom and stuff. So for the food industry and food processing, agriculture industry, there is potential for reuse of both STP water, and there is, if you take Chennai, for example, after the Chennai floods 2015, the government has taken conscious steps in designing storm sewers, storm water drainage systems, and even if 2015 happens again in the future at that scale, the damage is not going to be as much as we faced back then. So there is stormwater supply also that can be tapped in. And for that, you would need to talk to liaise and connect with, set up a contract with the concerned authorities organization, which would be, in Chennai case, it would be Chennai CMWSSB. And your second question was on, sorry, what was the second question, sir?
The budgeting part, like for example, the city limit, what is the demand for a domestic, industrial purpose? That is not clearly calculated, like budgeting of water. A city like Chennai.
So again, as I mentioned, in this sector, the demand is driven by policies. So if there's no policy for the industries to reuse water, they are not going to use it. They're just going to fill a borewell and tap it off of that, or take the water supply given to them from Metro Water and take that. So we have, if you're from Chennai, you see so much construction happening, all these high rises coming up. If a simple mandate of for them to reuse water is established, a simple policy, even tie-in with a RERA, getting the RERA license, be subject to using these reuse water, would drive up the demand for reuse water. Chennai has actually tried to push the recycle and increase revenue from the recycled water, but it's still struggling because of lack of policies that mandates such things.
Yes, sir. Exactly. The additional two more thing is, like, we are looking in a city like Chennai and all. We are looking at neutral carbon road plus the ROK Vanam, on the highway, or even in a village also we are planning to do that. But village will have enough water. But only thing is, in the city like in a big cities and all, even sometimes summer irrigation also very difficult to whatever the plantation we made on the highway. So if these water can be used, even we are ready to buy that, but that source is not available. That's what Please look into this. The urban highway like neutral carbon roads are one of the important area where we are looking. And another beautiful thing where we have claimed the carbon credit that is also upcoming, but there was no proper policy on that. I think people like you, you have to guide and make it how to calculate on how to credit, claim everything. Please, we are interested in these things. Thank you so much.
Sure, sir. Sir, Murugeshan sir, you can note down my number or take it from Gopi sir and contact me after this session.
Yeah, I will
I'll
note
be
down
happy
that, but
to
we are looking
guide you.
this is a big project. I am also a former Government of India employee only, but we are
Okay.
looking this kind of project under global warming prevention and recovery. Can I take your number, sir?
Sure. It's 955
955.
16
Can you say 16, sir?
16
Ah,
99
99.
766.
So I will read again. I will read, sir. 95516 99766. Okay, sir.
Yes,
Thank
yes,
you, sir.
it's on the screen. Yeah.
Yeah, sure, sir. Thank you so much.
Ravindranath sir.
Thank you.
Ravindranath sir. Please go on, sir. Ravindranath sir.
Good morning,
No,
Dr.
Ravindranath sir.
Yeah,
Yeah, Mr. Ravindranath is going on. Yes, sir. Ravindranath sir, please go on, sir.
Thank you. Thank you for the nice presentation you have given. And while you just talked about various technologies, I think the industrial wastewater, of course, the companies are implementing quite a lot. And obviously, there's just a small thing maybe you said about industrial wastewater. Our ROI is quite high. I mean, I don't think industrial wastewater will have that kind of a return on investments because the technological things and also the operating costs are very high compared to any other. But more importantly, actually, the water treatment, I think one should not even look at the return on investments and so on. It's actually the scarcity. Though you have said very well that wastewater is a new oil. Like Chennai has experienced. I think Chennai is in India, the first one we had a desalination plant.
Yep.
During the era of Madam Jayalalitha, I think 100 MLD or 10 MLD, I don't remember them. So
yeah,
obviously,
it's a Nemeli 150 MLD, two plants right next to each other.
It's a huge one. So going forward, I think most of we are quite well endowed with so much of sea all around India. So probably we are, especially Chennai and even Mumbai where I stay. So my comment is that I think one should really go for treatment, whatever the drop of water, wherever it is coming from, industry or municipal wastewater or elsewhere, and then save every drop of it because it's going to be, as it predicted by 2040, 2050, most of Indian cities around the coastal region will have a desalination plants. I mean, they're the kind of a thing. So it's a good presentation. You have given, I think, at least you're attracting people with the kind of investment sort of returns. That's a good thing. For some numbers which I have also put in the
Chat box.
messages, you can have a look at that later on.
Yeah.
See, we are doing one thing which just to share. I'm in Powai, and we had a beautiful Powai lake. If you have come to Mumbai anytime, if you have noticed, and the central part of it, we have Powai lake. Almost 18 MLD of sewage water is getting let into that one. So I along with I'm originally from Larsen & Toubro, so I have worked on way back in some industrial wastewater treatment plant apart from my hydrocarbon business. So what I was telling that when we moved in with the Bombay, the municipal corporation, and then really pushed them hard to put up a sewage plant and divert that sewage line. They've been very successful. I mean, they've done that. But the kind of a hyacinth that grows on the lakes and others. So you have a lot of kind of things that are happening on the wastewater. So your sort of focus on this area as an SME, I think is laudable. And then please continue the good work. It's just my comments.
Yes, sir. Just a couple things on your comments. With the industrial sector, it is it is high capex. If when I say high capex, it is high capex per KL of treatment. Okay, because it requires specialized technology depending on the effluent type of effluent coming through. Having said that, your OPEX is also going to be high because, and that is contributing to your treatment per KL cost. But when a third party, when a contractor comes in, takes on the entire scope of treatment, I was talking about their ROI. If they
Okay.
invest, say, for example, one MLD of a sewage treatment plant was going to cost you around 2 CR. Okay, depend if it's larger. If you go above 50 MLD, the cost per ML is going to come down. MLD is going to come out. Up to 10, 20 MLD, you can build a plant that is going to cost you about 1.5 to 2 CR per MLD of treatment. The same thing, 100 KLD, 10 times less capacity of industrial effluent plant would cost you the same, 10 times more expensive, in other words. So I was talking about the project, the technology the contractor who is going to build, and hand over. Their ROI is going to be and IRR is going to be much much more attractive than in the public sectors. Also, the project execution time is much shorter when you compare to large scale facilities.
That's right.
Thanks.
Okay, thank you.
Yeah, Vichu, please go on. Vichu?
Sir, it's Vikram online. Can I go ahead?
Yeah, please go on.
Okay. Couple of things. I'm just
Yes,
please educate me. You have been suggesting NBR and aerobic treatment.
Yes.
Now, anaerobic treatment, decentralized anaerobic treatment, it gives like 30 to 50 ppm BOD. Now, the pollution control, Tamil Nadu State Pollution Control Board has fixed 10 ppm BOD as a limit. I mean, what is sacrosanct? Many of the people tell me that it is only to harass us. I mean, why 10 ppm BOD? Why not 8? Why not 5? Why not 15? What that arbitrary 10 ppm BOD limit want? So a decentralized anaerobic system can reduce the load in a centralized treatment system. I mean, what are your comments? My other question is, the thing is, it doesn't make sense that you collect the sewage and then take it 30, 40 kilometers, treat it. Doesn't it make to have decentralized, systems? Mandate it in every. You told about government mandate in every building complex more than let's say 50,000 square feet or whatever it is. That's the thing. And the third is, what is the difference between NBBR and SBR? I mean, some people say SBR, some people say NBBR. Which is superior? Which is better? Just for me information. Thank you, sir.
Great questions. So regarding the first one, the 10 ppm BOD limit, that is actually specifically put up for urban areas. For rural, it is more relaxed, 30 ppm. And COD is also relaxed, I think 100 ppm. For the urban areas, it is more stringent. And to achieve that, you need to have SBR or different technologies. That is so. Going forward, it is all going to get more and more stringent to meet the discharge norms. Or discharge norms is going to get more and more stringent because of the push done by other environmental protection agencies, US EPA and elsewhere. So we are in India. Typically, we have been a laggard. We have been following US EPA by literally a decade. We are not exactly there yet. are following US EPA guidance and mostly US EPA. That is one thing. And the technology, like I said, for policy and the norms being established drives the technology selection. So back in the day, so your typical, I would say 100 years ago, your STP looked like a series of ponds. So sewage would come in the first pond, sit there for a couple of days, overflow. Your hydraulic retention time in the first pond would be 2 days. It would flow into the following pond, and there would have the first pond would have a deeper water depth, up to 5 meters, and that kind of acts as an anaerobic system, natural anaerobic system, followed by aerobic system, which with surface aerators and or even naturally, because 100 years ago your load and the flows were much lesser, and you had so much land at your disposal to utilize natural systems. And at the end, through UV from the sunlight, it would disinfect and flow out to the river. It has a name to it. It's called WSP, waste stabilization ponds based system, and they are still in practice in states like West Bengal, and I have assessed a few of them, quite a few of them there. They are one of the most efficient systems because you don't need any power to operate such systems other than capturing the debris at the front end with mechanical screens and maybe some lighting around the ponds. Otherwise, you don't need any power requirement there. And it's nature-based and very, very reliable. But it has its own challenges. These ponds get encroached and whatnot. But to achieve 10 ppm BOD in a WSP system, you would need acres and acres of land. So it's not feasible in current urban scenario. Now, then came the ASP, activated sludge process, which is the most established technology, very old after WSP. This is driven by aerobic treatment. And then came your MBBR system. MBBR is media based system, where instead of in the ASP, your biomass is floating, it's suspended. In MBBR, you are putting media into the system, and that is providing the surface for the microbes to grow. And these media will provide very high surface area so that you have all that BOD COD reduction happening within the same, within much compact volume of the aeration tank. So just to compare ASP aeration tank versus MBBR tank with the media, plastic media, it is going to be 1/3 the footprint. So in other words, if you say there's an old ASP system and it is getting more inlet raw sewage now, and it's expected to receive another 10-20% more in the near future, all you have to do is upgrade it to MBBR by dumping these media in the aeration tank and putting up some screens to prevent the media from leaving the tank. And that's it. You have 30-40% more capacity in the same system without any civil or other infrastructural capex requirement. So that's, and with the SBR, it is different. SBR is the WSP, ASP, activated sludge process, and MBBR system are all continuous systems. The water comes in, wastewater comes in, flows through each process unit and leaves the plant. In SBR, it is a sequential batch reactor. It's a batch system. It is also made to look like it is operating as a continuous system by providing multiples of 2 even number of reactors. One, while it is taking the flow, it processes. While it's processing, the other tank would take the flow in. So by the time the flow goes into the second tank, and that stops the inlet flow, your first tank starts taking in the flow after processing its batch. So it's just a batch reactor which requires more of SCADA and controls for the valves and to operate to analyze the flows and decant it. So it's a little bit more complex than the other systems. Now MBR is completely different. MBR is a membrane bioreactor. You're basically putting in ultrafiltration membranes into the aeration tank. You're putting the membrane systems in the aeration tank. So your outlet water quality will be as good as and anything coming out of an ultrafiltration membrane systems. So this will avoid having a separate clarifier after the aeration to separate the biosolids, and your footprint is going to be much smaller than the MBBR system as well. The most efficient, most compact footprint would be from MBR, membrane bioreactor, and most expensive as well. Any other questions, sir?
I've been working with this package treatment, Jogashu, Daiki Axis. They have a plant in Faridabad. They supply this packaged treatment system. Syntex used to do that, and I'm like a consultant to them on their, not on the process, on the equipment side. The designing of their tanks, underground tanks for buckling strength, buoyancy, all those things. I'm kind of supporting, but I have always wanted to know more about the process. Thank you.
So I missed the answering your concern on the decentralized system. Decentralized is applicable for smaller volume of treatment. So like you rightly said, doesn't make sense to convey the wastewater 20-30 kilometers and then treat it at a centralized facility. But it makes sense for high density urban situation, urban areas like Chennai or Hyderabad or these large urban cities, metropolitan cities. Having said that, there is, like I said, BWSSB is, Bangalore is also high density, but they have mandated that all the developments that has more than 120 apartments has to have on-site sewage treatment plant. They have to have on-site sewage treatment plant and then discharge. They can't discharge it into the, even if they have the UGD, even if they have drainage at the welcome gate, at the entrance gate. They are mandated to put up STP. If they generate anything more than 80 KLD of wastewater, they have to set up their own STP inside their campus. Unfortunately, it is not working. What these contractors have been doing is they, just for the sake of it, just for getting this compliance and getting the clearances from PCB, case PCB, they build something which will operate for the first year, and then they hand over. At the time of handover, you have full capacity, all the apartments, 90%, 99% of the apartments are populated. Now you have full flows coming into these STPs on site, which they put up in the parking garage, and that is usually undersized, and they may not have the right systems in place to help operate. So, and the issue is now at the hands of the association, which is basically the residents. Back in 2019, I think, KSPCB issued over 200 notices to residential apartments which has STPs for violations, just in Bangalore alone.
I'd like to invite you to Anna University, maybe for a talk.
Sure, sir.
You can address our people. Surprisingly, IIT has got a 4 MLD tertiary treatment, and they are reusing.
Okay.
Anna University doesn't have.
Okay.
They have an STP. I don't know how functional or dysfunctional it is. Yeah.
Sir, let me share one statistics in Tamil Nadu. There is 62 STPs across 51 towns, out of which barely 60 are, or barely two or three are operating as per design and meeting the discharge norms. On paper, some of them do meet, but if you walk into the plant, you would be surprised how they can meet the norms. So it's in very bad shape. These infrastructures are, like I said, capex is put in, opex has been ignored, O&M's contracts has been ignored. It's not in. I haven't seen one good, or very few good. I've seen very few good STPs that are older than 5-6 years and operating the way they should.
I'll be in touch with you, sir. I'm really
Sure, sir. Appreciate it. Thanks.
Yeah, I just to come in a bit, Subramanian here.
Yes, sir.
We funded the CETP in the Tirupur belt. And
Okay.
we also funded one of the first tertiary treatment plants of CMWSSB, which was way back, maybe 2000. This was for North Chennai, where they gave the water to the industrial belt.
Was it in Kodungayu?
Yes.
And you are associated with
I wouldn't know if it is working right now.
No, it's working. It's working, VT. It's still working.
Yeah. You were asking me something?
I was curious to know which organization you were associated with when you did the CTP at Tirupur and.
I work for a company called HUDCO, Housing and Urban Development Corporation. You might have heard.
Okay. Yeah.
We are quite noticeable in this field.
Okay.
Anandan, sir.
வணக்கம் வாழ்த்துக்கள்
Yes, sir. Vanakkam.
Good afternoon, sir. I am Sadanandam from Karur. Sir, actually some few points. Number one is increasing population growth. About that, we do not have any control. Number one, that is a policy matter. Number two, decentralization of the power. That also does not happen. Everybody wants to have it in Delhi or in Washington, and every time we should go there and get the permissions. That sort of things are going on. So how these things will happen? Instead, decentralization of the power will give automatic help so that they themselves will decide and do whatever possible, whatever to be done in the local areas. Number two. Number three, all the cities like metropolitans has to be stopped immediately. All the higher officials from there or industries from there should be moved out to other areas so that to some extent the problem can be solved. Otherwise, it will be because of job availability in local areas, the people go to the urban areas and we'll have all these problems. So this is another point which we should think. Apart from that decentralized small units, no. That is what we have to do it. Any industry, they should have individual treatment system that should be followed. Similarly, the housing complexes should have such facility. Then because digging of the roads and then laying all pipelines, horrible. It's all waste. A lot of money is involved and time is also wasted. So instead of that, if locally, if it is done, no problem. And then there itself, if you have the what is that, growing of trees or whatever it is, carbon emission problems will be avoided. So that way we should think, we should also consider these points and tell the higher ups so that somebody will take at least in the future. Thank you. Thank you.
Thank you, sir. Yes, I totally agree with the decentralization theme idea. And that's why I brought up BWSSB as a model board that has already implemented that, and they've done it successfully. As you rightly said, in the older metropolitan cities such as Chennai and Mumbai and other cities, it is very difficult to increase sewage network or sewage transmission systems, or for that matter, even capacities of the STPs is going to be a challenge. With the decentralized system within the gated communities that are being built and coming up in the future should have their own treatment facilities.
Ram,
Vikram,
yeah,
Sir,
go.
Vikram here.
yes, sir.
Sir, actually, I was very much impressed with this presentation and your talk.
Thank you.
Sir, I will go with the Manikam sir's statement, Kuvam River, which is flowing across Chennai. What is the feasibility study and, done by the Tamil Nadu government? And what are your views on that Kuvam River, clean Kuvam?
Sir, so there is Adayar River rehabilitation works, rejuvenation works that is happening, and it is to an extent successfully going on. I reside right next to the Adayar River in Manapakam, Porur, nearby Miyot Hospital. If you're familiar with that area, I've been here since 2018 onwards, 19 onwards, and I've seen huge changes. I go for a stroll walk along the river. They have something called river walk along the river. There's huge changes there. So similar effort is being drafted for Coam River as well. But that aside, they have established, I think, at least two decentralized treatment plants along the Coam River. I don't know the exact locations, but but the plan is to rehabilitate Coam River as well and bring it back to its original state and form from the Britishers' period. It's a long way, but it is doable.
So
And
Yes, Ram.
in
government
fact,
is taking steps now and then in addressing that clean Kuvam. Right?
yes, sir. It is it's on the drawing board with the success of Adaya River, which was recently started in this last governance. So the Coam River will also start. On the side, on the same context, if you noticed the lakes and ponds that have been fenced up, this was again a model being followed from BWSSB in Chennai as well. In Bangalore city, they had fenced up the entire ponds and lakes to prevent garbage dumps, and they have made conscious effort of diverting nalas away from the lakes and prevent pollution. So even if you go to the Porur pond, Porur lake, you can see it's all fenced up, and people can't dump anything in the pond. So those kind of things are being taken up by the local authorities, and this is also preventing further encroachments into these natural water bodies.
Thank you, sir. And as you rightly said, Adayar River, they are restoring it now and then. I could see a lot of birds flocking over there. So
Yes,
it's
sir.
a good sign. it's a good sign that good water is being set up. So thanks for your input, sir. Thanks.
Yeah,
Yes.
and you can actually see another big project happening right along the river there. There are two bridge crossings, one on Manapakam side and one just across from Miot. So if you just go past Miot towards St. Thomas Mount, there's a bridge there. There's a parallel bridge on the other side, about a kilometer down. You can see there's a huge stormwater conveyance system being built, and I believe that is to be commissioned before the next monsoon season. So there's a lot of efforts being done by the government, and which is all part of the rejuvenation of these rivers.
Yes, Ram, go on.
Yeah, I didn't know how to raise my hand digitally here. Sorry. So, quick question. Thanks for
Yes, sir.
all the good information, Giridhar. I saw you present a little bit about the digital water, and what I'm interested to know is, I mean, from my company Xylem, we actually serve municipalities. I think we are also working with TWAD lately, and
Yeah.
then we have some systems that we have supplied to Satara in Maharashtra. So we just started this in India, and elsewhere we've been supplying our digital systems and all that. What I wanted to say is, what I saw in your presentation was that you were talking about the IoT and analytics associated with the plant, the sewage treatment plant, I suppose. Whatever we are supplying are the same concepts, but more associated with the meters that we supply as part of our product portfolio. Now, what would be interesting to know is to understand, is there a real demand? Is there a real utility or utilization or a demand from any of these public sector organizations or from plants? And if so, what would be those critical parameters that they're interested to analyze or monitor, for that matter? I mean, it doesn't have to be
Great
just
question.
in India, but elsewhere as well.
Yeah. So lot of projects are being funded by World Bank, okay, and external sources for these water supply and sewerage boards, and the way they can ensure the funds are going to the right project and for the right outcome. These funding agencies are demanding equal weightage for monitoring and evaluation. M&E is almost as critical as execution. Okay, so the demand again is driven here by the funding agency to collect the data, to evaluate what impact this particular project has had before and after establishing, after completion of the project, and long-term monitoring. And the disbursement is the DLI. The disbursement is linked to the only after is linked, and it is only given dispersed only after they can prove it has in fact happened. So smart meter installation, NRW reduction, all that needs monitoring and evaluation, data collection, analysis, analytics are required for showing that to the funding agencies.
So in other words, you're saying that these are actually requirements that are weaved into the
Yes. Otherwise, the initial apart from the initial funds, they can't get any more until they can prove through setting up smart meters in the end of line systems, water systems, and same thing with water sewage treatment systems. There is API monitoring of the pumping. We know what is the number of house connections, right? Drainage connections. That is easy to take. That's readily available data. We know what per capita of sewage generation will be. That is given by CPCB. CPHO manual gives guidance and CPCB establishes. So there is all that given. So we know number of house connections. We know what is the volume of sewage being generated. Now, on the other end, you have this treatment facility built, right? Is the sewage generated from the collection area reaching the treatment plant? Invariably, no. In most cases, no. If 100 mld of sewage is generated, only 40, 50, or 60 mld reaches the sewage treatment plant. What happens to the rest? Either it is bypassed somewhere at the pumping stations, or leakages in the conveyance pipelines, whatnot. So there's that itself is a 30-40% loss in conveyance. Same way on the water supply side, you have NRW now, non-revenue. Only if you supply to a user, you can bill them, right? Otherwise, it's losses there. So NRW reduction is a mandate tied to these projects, and the contractor or the board has to show that they have in fact reduced the NRW. I think the limit is 20%. Below 20%, they need to bring it down. It's typically running at 30+% now.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Veersai.
Yes, sir.
Yeah, go on, Veersai.
Hello, sir.
Yeah, go on.
Yeah, so this is an amazing session, and so with reference to the implementation, like I mean, to avoid a lot of wastages and I mean wastages in water, and also understanding the patterns of the water consumption, because water has a cost and people don't value it, and it's always better to be preventive rather than reactive. So coming back to like how the I mean, so where do we start? Because you are talking about like, I mean, 30,000 crore projects and no, in the past decade and all that. So one side we are allocating budget, and another side, I believe that like there has to be a particular set of trials in a particular place, then a success model and standard to be arrived, and that has to be a compliance standard. Because one way we are talking about ROI for a business and all that. Another side, once you tell that this much savings are there are less people to hear it, because either the figures are not viable, or they don't realize, or they are not fundamentally strong enough. So somewhere we have to see where all and wherever there is huge potential, there is a billionaire in that that segment is what I believe. Yeah.
Yeah. So just essence of my presentation is to present a market that is already there. Okay. Now there is a lot of talks of organizing the market, right? That's what we are doing. We are in that phase. There's always been demand. There was always supply. There was always a water sector. We are just organizing the water sector and identifying revenue potentials within the water sector, which is why we are able to get 30,000 crores and smaller investments and smaller players coming into this sector. That is the reason. This is not known for the people outside the sector. So my whole objective was to establish that, make a shift from people from the outside. A layman would think, oh, wastewater is an environmental issue. We are polluting the earth and whatnot. No, that is not. That is a great thing to have, but that is not what is driving the sector to the next level now in the last decade or so. And again, technologies has always been there. There's nothing to prove that whether the technology works or not. It is, if not in India, there have been MBR systems have been more popular elsewhere, and there is their membrane efficiencies, treatment efficiencies has become threefold to fivefold. And the cost of equipment, cost of membranes, cost of aeration systems has dropped significantly. Back in the days, we would have surface aerators, highly inefficient. Now, and then we moved on to force bubble systems, which created bubbles, and the bubble surface area was the surface area provided for oxygen transfer into the liquid phase. Now that has gone from force bubble to micro bubble and ultra fine bubble systems. And you also even have oxygen based aeration systems for industrial application where you have high COD, high BOD you need to deal with. So there's nothing here to prove. It's just that fine tuning the business models that is applicable for Indian scenario, and hand in hand enforcing KPI based contracts. And to answer your other one of the other point is like, where do you get in? So that's why you want to play big. Wabag and such companies, L&T, they are more targeting on PPP or hybrid HAM models or large projects, 100 CR to 1000 CR onwards. If you are a small player, you have a crew of specialized team who know how. You have a process operator, you have a mechanical, electrical engineer, maintenance engineer, you have a chemist, a couple of chemists. You can take on the O&M projects just to go in and operate these plants. You can sub out from these WABAGs and other players. You can provide the manpower. You can ensure performance guarantee. That will all be upon you. Or you are digital, you are an IT company, you don't know what is wastewater treatment. You can still come in and do dashboarding, monitoring, evaluation, data analytics, all that stuff. If you are into carbon credits, you can do that as well, explore that revenue.
So here I have a team of around 60 members in South India. I mean, with reference to, so I want to add it to certain trials and certain places where we could start. So I'll get in touch with you offline probably.
Sure, sir.
What is the most like 80-20 rule? What is the impact which we could make, and where we could set up a success model in the trials, and then we could try to make people understand on the value, and then we could go on from there. Thanks for all your info.
Yes, sir.
Yeah, sure.
Sure, sir. Appreciate it. Thanks. Any other questions?
Yes, sir. We have one more. Muthukumar, sir. JMK, sir. Muthukumar, sir.
Yes, morning, Gopi.
Yeah, please go on, sir.
Hello, sir.
No, I am. This is a good presentation. Actually, I came very late, so I could not hear the full presentation. But thanks, Doctor. It was whatever I was able to hear was a good discussion. I would like to take you after, because I come from oil and gas background, and we do a lot of oil and gas wells. And one of the big challenges we always face how to protect the groundwater, especially which is domestic water. So there's always a challenge, and we also found a lot of methodology to kind of treat this water and make it less than a particular ppm or biodegradable, whatever that material, so that they can be useful. We can connect offline. That's what I think is the better thing to stuff here, and see what we can do to, because that is one of the biggest challenges across the world. Probably if there is a methodology, I can share what we are doing, and we have something, an innovation. Probably we can try to find a model that can be applied.
Yes, sir.
So I'll take your number from Mr. Gopi and talk to you.
Yeah, sure.
Sure.
Thanks, Gopi.
Thanks, Muthukumar, sir.
So just a note on that, I have had the I was fortunate enough to be involved in multiple different types of projects, not just in water. I started in the assessment of various technologies. One of them was Xylem in my first project for membrane-based treatment. but eventually I moved on from wastewater to water, municipal, industrial. I worked for BP, British Petroleum, back in the US at their Research and Technology Center after my PhD. I looked at their petrochemical effluent treatment plants, identified bottlenecks, both hydraulic as well as process bottlenecks, debottlenecked systems at no to low cost. Industries are extremely price sensitive. Even if they make billions in the oil industry, they don't want to invest unless they are driven by compliances. Because if they don't meet the discharge norms, they have to shut down the manufacturing. They have to shut down the production. So that's what drives them. So I've been there, done that, and I've also looked into done projects in solid waste management, both municipal as well as the residential solid waste, food processing waste, and whatnot. So what I'm trying to get to is I have been able to cross-pollinate the ideas, cross-pollinate the technologies between the projects I've been involved. Since I know what happens, what can be done in the water side, I can use some of the concepts and design aspects in the wastewater side, and I've done that something similar in the odor control and air pollution prevention in the solid waste side. I've done some composting as well. So you give me wastewater any kind, I can help you treat it. I can say that
Yeah.
with
Thank
confidence
you.
in
Thank you,
the
Dr.
24 years.
Actually, the awareness of the people has really gone up.
Yes, sir.
Earlier, that a couple of decades back, people never had that awareness. Today, maybe because of the social media, maybe because of so many online availability, and people have become very much aware, especially to India, if you take it up. If you go to Gujarat or Rajasthan, those areas, people have become very aware. Tamil Nadu, people not much aware, actually. I would say, unfortunately, we say Tamil Nadu is a very literary oriented, but they are more of election political party oriented people in Tamil Nadu. It's a major project.
You rightly said the awareness has gone up quite a bit. I have a professional friend at the Metro Water, and in a recent conversation, he mentioned the residents are talking about TDS in their water systems, in their supplied water. They're making complaints. They're calling up to complain that their TDS level is high. Can you imagine that happening 10, 20 years ago? Nobody knew what TDS is.
Yeah, and also another important, interesting fact is, Mr. Dr. Giridhar, is that the people started also knowing their rights, actually, what they can demand.
Yeah.
So the CSR of many organizations, especially people working in the mining industry or construction industry or any industry where the extensive use of water is used, they are become aware of the rights. And so the CSR has become very big. But what happens, what I see from experience is that the CSR is misused by the mafia type of mediators and agents. And they come and destroy it, and they say, okay, we'll take care of that. We will make sure the people are happy with that. So they put 2 water tanks on a school, and they say that we've done that. So they take, so that is what is happening in places like India, or Africa, or Bangladesh, or the scene. But Europe and Australia and US kind of thing, the much more compliance is there, and people do it in a better way. So I think I don't want to waste so much of time for other people in this call, but we can catch up offline and we can discuss much in detail. Thank you.
Yes, sir.
And one more
Appreciate
thing I
it.
would like to, add you here. Like, see, when TDS earlier 20 years back, see now in boat club also the TDS water is high. In a community like boat club, I think Metro Water TDS is increasing because of recycling or whatever. So people, when they are getting pain, when they are feeling the taste or certain things are not good, then they are getting awareness. So it is called reactive awareness. So we have to make it proactive or preventive. Yeah.
Oh, especially when task consumption is very high, you will know the difference. I'm just joking. In Tamil Nadu, for example, yeah.
Yeah, so just digitization. I think Ram sir wrote a piece, but the digitization point came up. So by just digitizing, just like digital money, right? If you digitize the whole system, data collection, analytics, monitoring, all that, everything is going to become crystal clear, pun intended. It is going to create more transparency in the operations. This is going to be a major side effect of digitization in the water sector.
Yeah, but for digitization, also the infrastructure required, we may not have, because when someone doesn't have something like I mean, say money, at least it was there, so we could digitize it. Here, certain people should first realize that they're having that much of water, or they're wasting, or they have the system, or for that they have to have the mechanism or the measurement tools
Yes,
and
yes.
the system. Yeah.
Absolutely. So digitization will involve in online monitoring systems where analyzers will be installed in critical points. Data will be collected live from the transmission lines and treatment facilities, and that will be monitored in a dashboard at the meta water level, and will be transmitted to case PCB or PCB, local PCBs and funding agencies as well. So real-time monitoring and analytics is the way forward.
Yeah, I think one last question we can take. Sundaram sir or Sanjana? Sanjana, do you
Yes,
have a
Gopi.
question? Yeah. Sundaram sir, do you have? Would you like to add something, sir?
No, I mean, I was into water and wastewater treatment from the beginning in my initial period as a chemical engineer. I was doing lot of projects throughout India in many different states those days, 40 years ago, and shifted to Thailand, Bangkok, in the same field only, around 34 years ago. But now I'm not into that same field. I'm into renewable energy field and all. That was the interest I had today to join your meeting. It was nice to get updated with all the happenings around. If at all anything is there, I got your number, Dr. Giridhar. I will
Yes, sir.
you as well.
I would love to associate with you on your project that has the water wastewater scope.
Yeah.
I'd be happy to work with you, sir.
Sure. If at all, even in the water and wastewater treatment side in Thailand, if we have anything as well, I will come
Yes,
back.
sir. So I'm currently consulting to companies or water boards in the Europe, Irish Water for Ireland, Thames Water in UK, and a few others through an MNC based in India.
Good.
So I'm a approved reviewer for their designs and EPC projects that's happening in these countries.
Good. I will reach you with my from my WhatsApp number and get you some more details.
Sounds good.
Right.
Thank you, sir.
Yeah, thank you, Dr. Thank you, Gopi.
Thanks, Sundaram sir. Professor Sanjana? Sanjana? There?
Good afternoon, sir. I'm here.
Yeah. Please go on. Yeah.
What is it, sir? I should ask question?
Yeah. No. If you have anything, if you want to add something, you can say.
Okay. So I'm actually from hotel industry, and a lot of water is used in five-star hotels, and you can say home away from home, all these establishments. So hotels have started using this wastewater very wisely nowadays, and they are very what you say sensitive about the water usage, and the same can be seen inside the rooms when they design the rooms or things like that. Laundry usage is also the basically the guest is sensitized through the communication from the hotel side, because they use a huge amount of water for travelers around the world. So this is not only, I would say, a national problem, it is an international thing. And as they would say that, the third world war would happen because of water. So water is such
Yeah.
an essential element that it can't be really ignored. And
Sorry to interrupt. It already happened, right? Recently, the Iran war, they had targeted desal plants, cut off water
it's
supply.
already happening. We are witnessing that. So earlier we used to
Yeah.
say it, but now it is actually,
Yeah.
happening. And if we are not really alert and what you say, really sensitive about the thing, that how crucial this water element is for us, because drinking water is only 2% available. So I think an overall approach, a sensitive approach is required. Also, wastewater management as well as the water which is available has to be utilized in a meaningful manner. In fact, I was just in the kitchen, and I was listening to all the conversation. I was out some time back, so could not listen to the initial conversations. But then, whatever my understanding is, sir, so I think the dishwasher, for example, is such an biggest, you can say, invention. Though Indian households are not really so well equipped with it, but to my surprise, when I bought it like 4 5 years back during Corona period, so in 15 liters of water, it does all the dishes, of two
Yeah.
full baskets of dishes, and that too in a hygienic manner. So such kind of
Right.
inventions which can, I would say, help the end users should be more practically implemented, sir.
Yes, sir.
And
Yes, ma'am.
as a society, we need to be little sensible about the entire usage of this. Then only we will have something left for the next generations to come.
Yes, ma'am, I would like to quickly touch upon the point that you brought up in the hospitality industry.
Right,
You
sir.
rightly brought up the laundry wastewater. That is a huge challenge to treat. As a wastewater professional, that is one of the very difficult stream of water that can be treated. I've dealt with dye effluent, I've dealt with tannery effluent, I've dealt with and laundry is one of the major major is a challenging stream to treat. But in the recent decade, recent 5 years, I would say, the cost of treating laundry effluent has gone down quite a bit because of technologies like electrocoagulation. It is an extremely compact system, super efficient, and the most appropriate technology that can be set up for laundry effluent treatment. So I can talk to you about that and explore possibilities with you, and if you can do a talk about that with your authorities for establishing such systems in your facility.
Sure, Dr. Giridhar, it was wonderful, knowing your insights about this particular thing. And as I said, and we agreed also that it is a worldwide phenomenon. So
Yeah,
if that importance has been underlined, then definitely it can be replicated at multiple places, and
yes.
that has already started. So definitely, I'm not an expert in that. You are already dealing with such things. So I would like to invite you for maybe a guest lecture or something like that at our institute,
Sure.
or so I'll get in touch with you, sir, regarding this. And I hope
Sure,
I have
ma'am.
added some value to the conversation, because I was out half of the time. So please excuse me for that if I've said anything which is not appropriately aligning with the topic.
No, your comments well taken, ma'am. Which organization are you associated with, Professor?
So I'm teaching at one of the institute here in Pune, at one of
Okay.
the hospitality college institute of hotel
Okay.
management.
Got it. Got it. Got it. Okay. Thanks.
Right, Dr. Giridhar, I think we are taking too much of your time. Thank you very much.
No, it was a
Having us on
pleasure.
Sunday morning. Yeah.
Thanks a lot.